What's up, ringworm? How are you doing? Man, there ain't much going on right now. Chilling. Reading a bunch of fucking weird Discord stuff. Got a little headache. Fucking drink some water. Drink a lot of water. I don't know. What's up, Mike? How are you doing? So if you guess a number between 1 and 100, you can get a mod wrench. That's kind of how things work here now. We don't just hand them out anymore. You gotta guess the number. Yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm just laughing at this Discord. I'm looking at a Discord and they're freaking going all crazy over some photoshopped uh, plants. Let's just call it that. Or Photoshop bud. I could say that. 74. Fuck, I didn't even think of a number. You got close, though. I'll tell you that much. You're a little cold. Or a little hot, actually, yeah. Just a little hot, Mike. The number is between 1 and 100, and you can get the mod wrench to get the number right. You get unlimited guesses, dude. That's the best part. I'm not just, yeah, and I give a little hints. But yeah, I'm just looking at some Photoshop pictures of Bud, and people are going all crazy about it. It's clearly fucking Photoshop. 74 Ringworm says. No, Ringworm, you guys are a little hot, man. 74 is a little bit off the charts, man. It's a little too far hot. 92. No, that's way too hot. Man, a little too hot. 69. Yeah, that's a nice number, but nah. Now you're a little too cold, man. What was it? Fuck, there was a funny ass thing I was thinking about talking about. Totally spaced it. Yeah, good to see you too, Siberian. Pretty good. Just freaking wasting time. Decided to go live. Talk to the people or crazies. I don't know what the heck to consider you guys. Oh, I saw watching the start of my live. Yeah. But yeah, we're just talking shit, getting back to the grind of things or hang of things. I don't know. It's hanging a little to the left today. You actually got it, Mike. Good job. Normally I try to think of a number first, but I'm a little stoned. And just like that, the bong hit sent a bunch of people away. What's up, Squirmy Wormy? Seen you went live earlier, but I was asleep. I was up until like 5:30 in the morning, couldn't sleep. Pissed off about work. Yeah, we've been just chilling. Yesterday's stream was a whole load of dog turds. Streamed basically all day, and then the last stream ended up with people back in. Yeah, no problem, Mike. I took away basically everyone's wrench. I still got to get on there and take away everyone's wrench. There's only like 6 people, I think, so far now that have it. Oh no, I haven't crashed out yet. I'm gonna crash out pretty soon, man. Very soon. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really awesome. Just crash out on him big time. Tell him the things that he needs to hear. But yeah, just like that, one bong hit, fucking sent away a bunch of those people. They all just took off. Who else likes bong tokes? I think it's the train wreck. Yeah, it's definitely the train wreck. I can smell it. It's fucking weird tasting. I don't know about that train wreck. It's got like, I don't know. I'm used to exotic strains. Tastes like something I'd find in my grandma's freaking medicine cabinet or something. I don't know how to explain it. Yeah, rigs. I mean, some people call dab rigs rigs, you know? But they basically are bongs. Huh, 2010. What's up, Kate? Just chilling, smoking. But, yeah, it's been a long time since I've had it. It smells a lot like Jack Herrera, basically. Yeah, so hopefully it fucking starts picking back up. We keep getting fluctuations, which are good, actually. Algorithm's starting to get me back in there. I just totally screwed it up those few times. Having copyright music and all that shit. Yeah, no, it's all by the smell. Not all, but yeah. You can tell things. You can tell a lot by them. Put a link in the group chat. Oh, you put a link in the group chat? That's cool. Yeah, I guess I could have. Yeah, I usually just share it to the Discord. I need to set up a Discord for the channel. I just don't know how to fucking figure out who I'm gonna make a mod first and whatnot. Yeah, I definitely need to start a freaking Discord and make it for the channel. Just got to figure out who I'm going to put as a moderator and how I'm going to separate it because I don't want to be dealing with the whole chat. It might get out of hand. Might end up getting a lot of random questions. Dude, we were making some gnarly novels. There's ones about Norn or underwear gnomes. Let's see. Yeah, there's ones about Norn or underwear gnomes. There's stories about Biscuit. There's a whole bunch of them. Yeah, there's the Tic Tacs and Biscuit. Where's the other one? I might have deleted them. Yeah, I'm looking at car keys now. That's way too far back. Yeah, I guess we can go to the Biscuit one. Not the gnomes. No, we can't do that. Oh no, this is the Nor one. One night in a quiet little mountain town of South Park, Nora was lying in bed, clutching her blanket. The room was dark except for the glow from her laptop screen. Suddenly, scramble, tiny footsteps echoing under her bed. She peeked over the edge and saw them, the underwear gnomes. But these weren't normal South Park gnomes. These were giant gnomes, towering like knee-high trolls, carrying tiny sewing machines strapped strapped to their backs. They wore old smelly underpants on their heads like helmets. Phase 1, steal Nor's underwear. One shouted. Phase 2, question mark, yelled out another. Phase 3, profit, they all chanted in harmony. Nor screamed, dude, stop stealing my panties. But, of course, no one in her family believed her. Every morning she woke up missing another piece of clothing. At school, she told Cartman and the boys what was happening. Cartman immediately saw it as a business opportunity. Sweet, dude. We'll sell the underwear gnome we'll sell the underwear gnomes to Victoria's Secret. They'll make billions. Um, dude, I don't know if Nora's watching. Nora's like, she said she got hacked or something again. Sounds like a lot of bull. She probably just forgot her password again. Kyle's face palm. Cartman, you're such an idiot. Stan shrugged. Dude, I think Nora just losing her mind. Kenny mumbled something about wearing her missing underwear on his head, but nobody understood him. That night, Nor stayed up to catch them in the act. Sure enough, the gnomes marched in like tiny army, dragging her underwear into the closet. Nor found them and discovered a hidden portal in the back of her sock drawer. On the other side was a massive underground facility, sewing machines clanking, gnomes stitching, and conveyor belts full of colorful bras and panties. They weren't just stealing underwear, they were making giant gnome clothes for themselves out of human underwear scraps. The gnome's boss, wearing a golden thong as a cape, stepped forward. You see, Nor, we don't want we don't want your underwear. We just want it because it makes us feel fabulous. Just then Cartman barged into the factory with a shopping cart. Respect my authority. I own this company now. Nothing, chicken wing. We're talking about Nor's underwear gnomes. Chaos broke out. Gnomes tackled Cartman. Nor threw socks like grenades, and Kenny got sucked into a sewing machine and went splat. By the end, the gnomes agreed to returning half of Nor's underwear, but only if she promised to let them model the rest on TikTok. Back at South Park, Back in South Park, Mr. Garrison lectured the class, and the moral of today's lesson, kids, if you let strange creatures steal your underwear, they'll eventually become influencers. Stan sighed. Dude, South Park is so screwed up. So yeah, what should we do for a better story? Nor and the underwear gnomes. We've already done like 10 parts of this. I think it was 10 or 12 parts. What's another one that would be good? Hmm. Fuck it. Here we go. Roofies, Siberian. Oh, oh man, Siberian needs some roofies. Wait. Okay, there we go. This might be actually a good one. Oh man, this is good. Okay, I might have to just save this, put it as a community post. This is pretty good. I just gave it a very, very vague idea. Yeah, this might end up being a community post. I don't make those much. This is cool. Okay, I guess we'll do the Slap Doctor's Magical Weed Farm, but with a little bit of a spin. We got Bigfoot and Skinwalkers roaming around, and Frank Gallagher from Shameless. So it says deep in the foggy redwood forest of Humboldt County, tucked between dirt roads and hidden grow ops, sat Slap's magical weed farm. It wasn't just another Emerald Triangle grow. This was one whispered about at every dive bar and backwoods smoke sesh. Folks said the buds glowed under moonlight, and smoking just one joint could make you see your ancestors or talk to trees. The farm was protected not by fences or cameras, but by skinwalkers. They prowled the redwood shadows at night, shifting between coyotes and human forms, scaring off DEA agents, trespassers, and curious hippies who wandered too close. Sometimes they left claw marks on the tree trunks as warning. Then there was Bigfoot, not the blurry one from YouTube, the real deal. He'd lived in Humboldt long before weed farmers even showed up. But when he discovered Slap's enchanted crop, he basically moved in. Bigfoot became the head trimmer, carefully snipping colas in his massive hands while humming Bob Marley songs no one dared complain. And of course, somehow Frank Gallagher ended up there. Frank stumbled out of the of out of a stump. Frank stumbled out of a Greyhound in Eureka, looking for a bar, and 2 days later he was working at the farm. Nobody remembered hiring him. He didn't trim. He didn't water. Didn't haul soil. Instead, he lurked around, sampling buds for quality control, and convincing skinwalkers to spot him beer at the local dive bar. Slap tried to fire him once. Bigfoot even picked him up by the collar and tossed him into the bushes. But Frank just kept coming back, smelling like malt liquor and laughing about the redwoods. Spit him back out, or spit, oh, laughing about how the redwoods spit him back out. One, one night, things got weird. Even by Humboldt standards, a crop of experimental flowers called Spirit Train OG started glowing like lanterns. The whole hillside green fire, lit up in a green fireflies. What the fuck? Yeah, AI sucks. The whole hillside lit up in a green in a fire like fireflies. Suddenly, the fog rolled in thicker than ever, and strange howls echoed from the tree lines. The skinwalkers froze, even they were scared. Then Frank staggered out of the greenhouse with a massive, or mason jar, with a mason jar blunt, coughing, oh, I might smoke the prototype, guys. It's, but it's cool. I saw God again. He wants an eighth. Right on cue, the forest split open, a rift between the redwoods, and out came things, shadows made of teeth and antlers, um, spirits older than Humboldt itself. The ground shook, and for a moment it looked like the farm was done for. But instead of running, Frank waddled up and passed them a blunt. Silently, the shadows took a puff. Within minutes, the terrifying beings were stoned out of their minds, giggling and pointing at the stars. Bigfoot brought out more jars. The skinwalkers relaxed, and suddenly it turned into the weirdest smoke circle Humboldt County had ever seen. Slap just rubbed his forehead. This farm is cursed, man, but damn if it ain't profitable. Now the weed farm thrives, hidden in the mysterious redwoods, guarded by skinwalkers, worked by Bigfoot, and somehow res- re- represented by Frank Gallagher, who claims he's the Emerald Triangle ambassador. No, U.S. shameless. Frank smokes meth. There's no way. They don't have UK shameless being as gnarly as the American one. They're in the south side of Chicago. Dude, how is this even possible that AI's that good at writing stuff? There was a few little fuck ups, but AI wrote us a pretty good story. Let's see. We'll make a part two. I'm just copying this for now. Yeah, that's gonna end up as a channel post. That's pretty funny. Oh, cool. Okay, here we go. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So it was a misty Humboldt morning. The redwoods were silent except for the hum of generators and the faint reggae drifting from Slap's magical wheat farm. Inside the greenhouses, the enchanted colas of the Spirit Train OG sparkled like chandeliers. But down the dirt road, black SUVs were creeping in. The DEA. They thought they were slick. No sirens, no helicopters, just quiet convoy making their way through the fog, but the skinwalkers already knew. Their their yellow eyes glowed from the tree line, watching. One of them shifted into a raven form and flew back to the farm to warn Slap. "Aw, hell," Slap muttered, dropping his joint. "They found us." Bigfoot cracked his knuckles, ready to throw down. Frank, on the other hand, was passed out in the hammock with a 40 in one hand and a half-smoked blunt in the other. The DEA swarmed in, weapons drawn, federal agents, hands where we could see them. But then the plants woke up. The buds began. I don't know if I can read this. The buds began humming, their trichomes glowing neon. Vines shot out of the soil, wrapping around agents' legs and yanking their guns away. Massive colas uncurled into fat fists, punching through windows. One greenhouse bursted open and released a cloud of smoke so thick half the DEA squad collapsed, laughing before they even fired their first shot. "Sweet Jesus, the plants are alive," one agent screamed, right before the nug size of a watermelon smashed him in the chest and sent him flying. Bigfoot let out a roar and wandered into the chaos, swinging a trimming scissor like a battle axe. The skinwalkers darted between agents, from shifting forms mid-stride, ripping radios and vests away. And then there was Frank. He stumbled awake, saw what was happening, and instead of panicking, he grabbed a mason jar of concentrate and poured it into the generator's intake. The greenhouse lights flickered, then the plants went supernova. Buds sprouted arms, leaves turned into blades, and a massive glowing cannabis mother plant rose up like some sort of stoner kaiju. What's up, ringworm? Or oh, Nico, what's up? We're reading about the magical weed farm. The DEA scattered. Some dropped their weapons and fled back into the redwoods. A few unlikely ones got tangled in vines and force-fed dabs until they were giggling puddles on the ground. By the time the fog cleared, the agents were gone. The forest was quiet again. The magical plants were slowly shrank back to normal, swaying peacefully in the breeze. Slap lit a joint with shaking hands. Frank, what the hell did you do? Frank just grinned, eyes bloodshot. I improved the security system. And from that day on, the farm was untouchable. No one dared raid Humboldt's strangest grow again. Not when the plants themselves, not when the plants themselves were ready to defend it. I guess it was a pretty good one. Yeah, we're smoking, but we're also using ChatGDP to write pretty out there stories. After the DEA raid, word spread like wildfire up and down the West Coast. No one could explain what happened that foggy morning. The officials' report claimed hallucinations caused by exposure to violent plant material, but every agent who was there swore they saw the plants fighting back themselves. Soon the rumors got out. Backpackers, hippies, Backpacker hippies whispers whispered about it on the Arcata Plaza. Old trimmers at the dive bars in Eureka swore they knew the location. Within months, Slap's magical weed farm wasn't just a farm. It was a pilgrimage site. Stoners came from all over: Los Angeles, Denver, Amsterdam, even Tokyo. They'd wander into the redwoods, hoping the mist would guide them to the glowing greenhouses. Some never found it. Others came back with bloodshot eyes for a week straight, talking about the weed they see that sees into your soul. Slap didn't want the attention, but the farm take had taken on a life of its own, literally. The plants would decide who was worthy. If you came with greed or bad vibes, the fog would swallow you up and spit you out miles away, broke and confused. But if you came with respect, you'd find yourself sitting in a smoke circle with Bigfoot, puffing on a joint the size of a basketball. Bigfoot, in fact, had become the high priest of the Forest Church of Ganja. He wore a robe stitched with old trimmer hoodies, sorry, and crowned himself with a halo of resin-coated bud. He spoke rarely, but when he did, this word came out in deep echoing riddles. Puff, puff, and then consider passing. The skinwalkers took the role of temple guardians, keeping the sacred forest free of narcs and influencers. They'd appear at night to pilgrims. Oh, they'd appear at night to pilgrims, guiding them to the farm or scaring the hell out of them, depending on their mood. And Frank became the church treasurer. He set up donation jars that said for the holy church, but 90% of it went straight into his pocket, funding endless malt liquor and motel stays in Eureka. Somehow, though, the farm didn't care. The plants seemed to like him. maybe because he smoked more than than anyone living on Earth. One faithful 420, thousands of stoners gathered in Humboldt for what became known as the Great Blaze. The mother plant bloomed under the full moon, releasing a cloud of sparkling pollen that covered the whole valley. For 3 days straight, everyone in Humboldt was high sheriffs, tourists, even the wildlife. Locals still tell stories of raccoons hotboxing dumpsters and deers giggling in fields. By the end, the world knew about Slap's farm. People called it a miracle. People called it a miracle, a curse, a natural wonder. Pilgrims still sneak into the redwoods hoping to find it. Somewhere some swear they've met Bigfoot there. Some claim Frank baptized them in bong water. Some believe that deep in Humboldt, under the ancient redwoods, the Church of Ganja still thrives, its plants humming with power, its guardians watching, and its smoking forever rising to the sky. That's a pretty good one. I don't know. What's up, Koala? We're making AI stories about Slap's magical weed farm. Yeah, apparently Frank does a lot, dude. He baptizes people with bong water. What about the U.S. government tries to seize the Church of Ganja as a national resource, and the farm itself goes to war with modern society or civilization? Yeah, apparently he's a good worker on there. Okay, so by now the Church of Ganja was world famous. Stoners treated it like a mecca. Pilgrims came from across the globe, and Bigfoot was basically the weed pope. But it wasn't just hippies paying attention anymore. The US government had noticed. In DC, a senator slammed his fist on a desk. We can't let a plant control half of Humboldt County. That's a natural resource. We're seizing it for the American people. So the government assembled Operation Green Curtain, a mix of DEA, National Guard, and even some DARPA nerds. What the fuck's DARPA? Who thought they could digitalize the farm and turn the magical plants into military grade bioweapons. They rolled tanks and helicopters into the foggy redwoods. At first, the skinwalkers tried to ward them off, but this time the army had thermal drones, tear gas, and flamethrower squads. For the first time ever, the farm looked vulnerable. Slap shouted, "We need a miracle." And then Frank Gallagher stumbled out of the forest wearing nothing but a wearing nothing but a weed leaf poncho, carrying a gas can. He was drunk as hell, yelling, "You can't kill what's already lit." I don't know how that makes sense, but okay. You can't kill what's already lit. Before anyone could stop him, he poured malt liquor into the gas tank of a Humvee, lit a joint, and somehow made the entire convoy stall out. The soldiers sat there confused, their armored trucks belching smoke that smelled like frat party dumpster. Meanwhile, Bigfoot climbed into a tank, and instead of smashing it, he sat cross legged on top, pulling out a giant 10-foot gravity bong made from a hollowed redwood log and started ripping bowls so massive that the smoke cloud blinded half the battalion. The DARPA nerds freaked. The DARPA nerds freaked. Their instruments started glitching. One of them yelled, "The THC levels are off the charts. The plants are hacking our satellites." Sure enough, the enchanted mother plant pulsed with green light. Vines shot into the sky, wrapping around drones and dragging them down. The redwoods themselves seemed to move and shift to trap soldiers in endless loops of fog. And Frank, he somehow convinced a National Guardsman to play beer pong with him in the middle of the battle. By the time anyone realized what happened, they were too stoned or drunk to remember why they even came. The U.S. government retreated in chaos. Their official reports labeled Humboldt County a psychoactive exclusion zone, basically admitting they couldn't touch it. Back at the farm, Slap, Bigfoot, the Skinwalkers, and even Frank celebrated around a glowing plant. Bigfoot stood up, bong water dripping from his fur, and declared in his deep, booming voice, "Let it be known weed is stronger than war." Frank raised a 40 and or slurred, and "beer is stronger than responsibility," before painting his face in dirt. The farm was saved, but now legend said it wasn't just a farm anymore, it was a sovereign nation of its own, defended by plant spirits, Bigfoot, and somehow Frank Gallagher. What are you doing? Just show up, say something, delete yourself? I don't mind trolls. Obviously, I'm freaking reading some trolling shit. No, Frank is an offspring to Bigfoot. Nah, but Bigfoot's kind of like Frank's mentor, I guess. Makes sense now. So the next one is push it to the next insane level where Slap's farm literally became a new country recognized by the UN, with Bigfoot as president, Frank as the world's ambassador, and Frank as the world's first ambassador. I'll take a few bong hits first because I think we're a few deep. Dude, those people asked for, the AI stories. And I don't know if they liked it. They all left. We're down to 2 people. Got the real ones in here now. Who is it? Ringworm and fucking Nico? Or did Nico take off too? And it might be even just Koala. Oh shit. No, it's just you. Oh man. We have fallen off big time, but we had a few good little blips today. I just need to practice my reading, you guys, and then we can do better. Oh no, now I got 0. Fuck, dude, this is bad. We're ruined. Who else is live right now? Fuck. Dude, I don't know. We might just have to end this one. Ugh. Yep, so this is a pretty good one. What's up, 420? We're just chilling. We got a chat GDP story about Slap's magical weed farm. We're on like part 5 now. But on this part, um, it's where Slap's farm literally becomes a new country recognized by the UN with Bigfoot as the president, Frank as the world's ambassador. So we'll get into it in a second. I just got to take a puff. You know, been reading a little too many stories. I think we're on the fifth or sixth installment of this little Frank saga and farm saga. AI can write some really good stories pretty quick. After the government's humiliating defeat in Humboldt, the story of Slop's magical weed farm couldn't be contained. Videos leaked of Bigfoot hitting a 10-foot bong, vines crushing tanks, and Frank Gallagher playing beer pong with National Guardsmen. Within weeks, it was on every news channel in the world. Instead of crushing it, the U.S. had accidentally turned the farm into a global legend. Stoners began calling it the Green Nation. Activists marched in support, and hippies declared it the first eco-sovereign state powered entirely by Kush. Finally, under the mounting pressure, the United Nations voted to recognize the farm as its own country. Slap was stunned. Wait, we're a country now? Does that mean I gotta pay, like, taxes? Bigfoot stepped forward, crowned in resin crystals, and accepted the role of president of the Green Nation. He couldn't exactly speak at press conferences, but whenever he roared, the plants themselves translated his meaning through the wind. The first declaration: every citizen gets free weed. The skinwalkers became the National Guard, prowling the redwoods with ceremonial blunts tucked behind their ears. And then there was Frank. Against all logic, he became the first ambassador to the world. Ambassador to the world. What the fuck? Why? Because he was the only one who wanted to travel. Frank showed up at the UN in New York wearing a wrinkly weed leaf suit, stinking of malt liquor with a backpack full of Humboldt nugs. During his first speech, he pulled out a joint the size of the size of a the size of a baguette and lit it right there at the podium. Half of the assembly walked out in protest, and the other half stayed and toked. Countries like Jamaica, Nepal, and the Netherlands immediately signed treaties of friendship with the Green Nation. France demanded an import deal of wine and weed pairings. Even Canada was jealous. Meanwhile, Frank kept screwing it up in hilarious ways. He got caught selling Humboldt OG to ambassadors behind the UN building. He passed out drunk in the Secretary General's limo once. He declared war on Luxembourg by accident after losing a poker game, but somehow Bigfoot claimed mysterious leadership balance. Frank's chaos, the farm thrived, tourism skyrocketed, and the foggy redwoods became hollow ground for stoners worldwide. Pilgrimages carried weed leaves like flags, chanting in the trees we trust. Yeah, I know, Frank's out there. On the farm itself, the enchanting mother plant bloomed bigger than ever. Some whispered it was preparing something evolving even. Slap just stared at it nervously and muttered, "Man, this is getting out of hand." But the world didn't care. For the first time in history, a country had been founded not on oil, gold, or conquering, but on weed, Bigfoot, and Frank Gallagher's stupidity. And somehow it worked. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, it should be a freaking good one. I should keep this one saved away. So, after the failed government raids, things at Slap's magical weed farm settled into a strange kind of peace. The skinwalkers patrolled the property. Bigfoot trimmed colas bigger than Christmas trees, and or Slap kept production running smooth. But Frank, but Frank Gallagher, Frank wasn't satisfied. Regular joints, blunts, dabs, none of them him hard anymore. He wanted to go bigger. One morning, Slap caught him in the barn, fiddling with a generator, a turkey baster, and a 5-gallon bucket of Everclear. "Frank, what the hell are you doing?" Slap asked. Frank grinned with eyes bloodshot. "I'm inventing the world's first dab-powered moonshine still." What the fuck? I didn't. It didn't work. The barn exploded in a puff of smoke so thick it hotboxed half the valley. A sheriff driving by crashed his cruiser into a ditch, giggling uncontrollably. Another time, Frank tried to make a weed IV drip by stuffing ground buds into an IV bag filled with vodka. He claimed it the future of medicine. The skinwalkers had to wrestle him to the ground before he stuck himself with the needle. Bigfoot, usually the calm one, accidentally got into Frank's schemes too. One night, Frank convinced him to build a gravity bong out of a hollow redwood stump. They they dropped in a nug the size of a softball, filled it with creek water, and pulled so hard that the suction knocked out the power grid in Arcata for 6 hours. Slap was furious. You, you two are you two are gonna bring the feds back. Frank just shrugged. Worth it. Bigfoot coughed for 2 days straight, but claimed it was the most spiritual experience of his life. Frank kept pushing the boundaries. He fermented weed leaves into a foul smelling THC wine. He tried smoking through a garden leaf blower, calling it the blunt cannon. He even mixed rosin with malt liquor and named it Gallagher Gold Reserve. The skinwalkers banned him from brewing it again. Despite all the chaos, the wild thing was sometimes his ideas worked. Not well, not safely, but enough that Humboldt locals whispered about Frank's experiment like urban legends. Slap just sighed. Whenever he saw Frank tinkering one day, oh, whenever, let's go back. Slap just sighed whenever he saw Frank tinkering one day. Or tinkering. One day, man. One day you're gonna actually kill yourself doing this. Frank just laughed, sparking a joint, dipped it in whiskey. Nah, Slap. One day I'm gonna invent the perfect high. And then I'll never have to come down. And with Bigfoot as his occasional partner in crime, there was no telling how far Frank might go. I don't know, where is everyone? So should we'll just restart this in a little while and I'll reread it. Fuck. I know I gotta start some work for a little while. But I'll be back at like 9, maybe 10 my time, so like another 6 hours. Oh, 5 hours. Fuck. I didn't say anything to Nor. Nor just took off. Nah, I might finish this one. This one's a pretty good one. Oh no, she lost her account apparently. She got, signed out or whatever the fuck happened. But yeah, she no longer has that account, I guess. Oh, you were you on freaking Koala stream a little bit ago? She showed up with a new name and everything. Yeah, I might just continue the stream though for a few minutes. I don't know. It's just I know I need to get that fucking work started. But fuck. That's one thing I hate about smoking. Sometimes I'm like wanting to chill and then I'll be like, fuck, I'm being lazy. I need to go do stuff. No, it's not just Roblox nor it's like nor Muck Bar or some bullshit and then Daniel something's girlfriend and all this other stuff. It's a long name, dude. It's a paragraph. I didn't sign up for it because I was not gonna do it this time. I don't think it's her boyfriend, to be honest. I don't know. It's the same person that's been in her profile pictures for a while. Dude, no, Nor. I think Nor is a troll, dude. Nor might be a real life troll, dude. Like an actual troll. Like we caught a fucking 4K troll, you guys. Dude, she's definitely a big troll. Shows up, hi, and then leaves or whatever might happen. And then I'm back. Dude, yeah, she eats troll bread, dude. She eats trolls for breakfast. It's gnarly. No, it's all right. No, it's totally wanted. I mean, you probably once you realize what we're talking about, you're gonna be like, okay, fuck, I don't need to know more about her. What's up, Koala? We're trying to figure out about Nor, dude. So, do you think it's a fake Nor account, or is it really her, or is Nor just a real life troll, like an actual real life troll, dude? Not sure. Yeah, so I was reading those stories of Magical Weed Farm. Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of trolls, but no, she's like She just says hi, and then I'm back, and then will sometimes rarely say stuff. But then she changes her name all the time. Like she has a full new account, even though she was streaming on her other account. Said she got signed out. Isn't impressed. Put you on, bro. Oh yeah, I was thinking about doing that. That would be pretty funny. Do the koala fucking twerk out. Either that or just talking shit. But no, I can do that in a little bit. I'm gonna probably have to go do some work real quick. Not just probably, I do. But it shouldn't take too long. Should be able to knock out most all of it tonight. Yeah, no, I did a freaking live a few weeks ago, and I did the duel. Never, no one ever joined in. I was kind of pissed off about it. But yeah, we kind of fell off and hit a fucking hard spot, and I don't know. We're fighting back. We're getting into the algorithm. Fuck. So I'll figure out what's going on right now, and if I come back on, I'll come back on. But yeah, it might not be for another 5 hours. And yeah, that's like the latest. It might come on earlier. Yeah, I'll do a community post and start doing a daily post of these freaking Frank stories so you guys can read them yourself. Yeah, we need to get onto the steadiness on this. 67 more days basically exactly of continuous watch time I need. And that's just one person. Like if I had one screen going for 67 days, that'd do it. But I'm just going to continue streaming, so be pretty quick before I get monetized. Yeah, like yesterday was just 15 hours just off that little shitty streams all day. Not all day, but from like 1 till freaking 10. That's not that bad. So yeah, we'll just keep streaming, going back live. God, I like mind my P's and Q's. No more freaking copyrights. I never really freaked out on anyone on here, which kind of sucks. I thought I'd get in trouble for that first. Oh no, I've already read him a couple stories that it came up with. It came up with one of Frank going to a casino and ending up working for the mob, and him and having a gambling fucking addiction, but somehow a super good luck and always winning. It was kind of fucking awesome. Yeah, and then he ended up walking into the wrong VIP lounge one night, and then he ended up in another sticky situation with a meth dealer and a whole lot of stuff. And then finally, they got tired of him and kicked him out, and he opened up his own casino at an old laundromat. So, yeah, I make some good stories. Laundromat fucking casino parlor. It was weird. But yeah, we'll get onto these AI stories more. And yeah, I'll be back on in a little while. See you around, and yeah, stay cool. I don't know. Party on.